Hello sailors, it's been exactly 1 year since Rob and I tied the knot. No sweetie, not a bowline. No, not a reef knot either. A year ago today, we tied the knot. We bought a boat, sailed mostly round the UK, and decided to jack it all in and head for the Med. So join us on our special first anniversary where we go on a very luxurious date. We're going to need our sexiest outfits. Yeah, looking good, guys. Some flashy accessories wouldn't go amiss. We'll have to pour a drink of something expensive. Listen to some soothing, romantic music. And finally, gaze longingly at the one we love.
Looking good, reach out.
Well, you're looking better and better with each coat of polish. Really beautiful.
This week on Sailing Hjem, we lift Reach out, Rob blows his own horn, and I film the inside of my pocket. But first, boat jobs. In preparation for renting our house out, we hired a Rugdoctor carpet cleaner for 24 hours. After giving our suburban home a good clean, we decided to give our floating home the same treatment. When I was finished, the water was the colour of strong tea. Speaking of tea, I think I'll go make a cuppa. Welcome back on board Reach Out. It's quite a chilly day here in the northeast, but it is sunny, and one thing I quite like to do before we head off to sunnier shores and warmer climes is give our fridge seal a little bit of attention. We have a top and front loading fridge. We never actually use this door because as soon as you do, all the cool air kind of escapes out of it. So we always use the top hatch. And the fridge seal, it's just starting to come away. You can see like all this old glue here and little bits of crumbs and things get down there. So I want to pull the whole thing out, give it a good scrub, and then try to glue it back in, but pushing the seal right into the edges and just hopefully getting a better seal. So fingers crossed. Ew. So along here, this looks like this is gonna come away nice and easy, but I don't want to actually damage any of this actual seal. I'm wondering if that's the original glue, if that's 24 years of glue. Wow. Can't wait to see it all clean. Step 1 complete. All the seal is out, leaving behind just old glue and some crumbs. So time to get cleaning.
Painstaking work, all painstaking work, but satisfying work. Travel the world, sail a boat, it'll be glamorous, they said, and here we find ourselves on a Thursday afternoon picking sealant off a fridge seal, or glue off a fridge seal. But actually, it's like picking sunburn. It's quite therapeutic. Oh, when you get a good bit like this, oh, that's so delightful. And we need to do this because when we reseal it or when we reglue it on there, it needs a nice clean surface. So all this old stuff needs to come off.
And that is looking so much better already. Bit of soapy water, some acetone, a lot of elbow grease courtesy of the skip. I'm of the opinion that if it can't be fixed with Gorilla Tape and super glue, then it can't be fixed. Today we're using both.
It's really important to get a good night's sleep on board. You don't always get that when you're sailing, unfortunately, but one of the things that can help is a decent mattress. The mattresses on our boat are old, 20 odd years old I would say, and they're made of foam. And I think the foam's just too flat now, so not really very comfortable. So we were looking around at marine mattresses and prices of them, just like everything marine, is absolutely shocking. Over £1,000 for a mattress. So we've looked around all the various forums and whatnot, and we reckon we can do this DIY um, by just measuring it ourselves, getting some foam and whatnot, and job's a good one. But anyway, there's a bit more to it than that, and Faye's getting on with it at the minute, so we'll see what she's up to. And the minute she's standing guard at the boat. What you got here, Faye?
That, or I'm just trying to stop the foam from flying.
So this is our old mattress. Doesn't look too bad like that, but if you turn it over, please, Faye. Yeah, 20 odd years of mold and stuff like that. And I think it's beyond cleaning really, because like I said before, like it's just not as like supportive and stuff as we would like. So what Faye's done is make some templates out of these old mattresses, and then we're just going to go to a foam shop. Yep, there is one in Newcastle, in Byker, Foam World. Believe it or not, it's always been there. People selling foam. But we're going to go down there, we're going to buy some foam, and we're going to cut it to size using those templates. And I reckon we're going to save at least £1,000.
That's a lot of wine.
It's a lot of wine, especially in France. One of the nicest things about what we do is when you find a lovely anchorage, it's so peaceful, maybe only a couple of boats there, nice kind of sunshine, nature, etc. And you get to spend the night there in your boat. And what you use to do that is your anchor. And therefore, it's really important that you can rely upon your ground tackle, which holds you to the earth and stops you floating away. And on our boat, we use what we call a windlass, which basically just pulls up and lowers the anchor when we need it. So it's a really important piece of equipment in that it needs regular maintenance as well. So at least annually, we need to have a look in it and make sure it's clean, make sure it's greased, and that's what I'm going to do today. So this little piece of innocuous equipment is the windlass, and we need to remove all of the outside here to then have a look at the inside and see the state of it. So there's all the top bits of our windlass off. This is what it looks like with all the bits off it. So there's nothing glamorous about this job. All we're going to do is clean everything down with a degreaser and then apply liberal amounts of fresh grease to everything so that it all works nice and smoothly for us in this season. All right, that's everything looking a lot cleaner. All the old grease has been cleaned out, just used WD-40 and then washed everything down with soapy water afterwards. And now we're ready for a re-greasing. And we're going to use this type of grease. Lithium grease is fine as well, apparently, but previous owner Peter left us this, so we're still living off his good grace and we're going to use it. Plenty of grease in there, and on these bits as well. I think that's enough. I've really no idea, I've never done this before, but let's give it a shot, see if we can put it back together. Oh, my little pin's fallen out as well. Let me put that back in. And then you just rebuild it in the same way that you took it off. Give it a general clean around there, and job's a good one. And the final test. Hey! It probably doesn't, but I swear it sounds better already. So that's the job done, and it was good to get a look inside of there as well, because obviously we hadn't seen inside. The boat's 25 years old. So it's nice to get a good look inside the critical pieces of equipment. And what I saw was that our previous owner had maintained it really well. There was loads of grease in there and so on, and it was recent, it wasn't dried out. And all the various bits and pieces that should be there are there, which is really satisfying. So I went off to show off to Faye and said, "Look, it works, I've done it." And she said, "Well, isn't there supposed to be chain in it?" And of course, there is supposed to be chain in it. So whilst it worked, it wasn't bringing up any chain. So I had to take the whole thing apart again to then feed the chain through, which is all right because it was great practice undoing the whole thing again and putting it back together. But yes, it brings up the chain now.
Happy lift out day! And it's raining. We know how I feel about the rain. There's the skipper. How are you feeling?
Fabulous, apart from the fact I need to lower the Genoa. I don't know how to do that, and it's like 25 knots blowing from the port onto the port beam, which blows us against the boat next to us. Other than that, I'm fine. We'll work this out. We've got it.
Yes, we have it. Let's do this and then we'll know what to do for next time.
Forestay comes to the cross beam.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind I'm going to have to lift you up even higher to get your rudder out than I normally would do.
Yeah.
If it looks like your forestay is going to come close to the cross beam, I'll set you down and move everything forward on your boat.
Yeah.
But by that point I'll have seen underneath and I can see if there's anything that I need to stay out of the way of.
You want a bus, mate?
And then once I'm happy that it's all in the right place, I'll get you off the bow with all your bits that you need.
Alright.
So take a seat and hold on while I'm lifting you.
No problem, mate. Right, things that we need then. Bags.
Get the bottom of the keel washed off and then I'll set her on a block. Not like I'll wait till we have the can.
So she's out, and I've got my hat off because it's now warm, which is nice. That was the first time we'd moved the boat since we got back in September, so 5 months now. And to say that that was a refresher in how to actually operate our sailboat is an understatement. So we had to lower the Genoa at the last minute there because we didn't realise it needed to be off in order to do the lift. And we didn't really know how to do that, so we got some help and we dropped it and whatnot. But like in order to drop the Genoa, we needed to unfurl the Genoa. and you know, we were pulling the lines to unfurl the generator, it wouldn't unfold, and the furling line cleat was still closed. I opened that and I was pulling on it again and it still wouldn't come out. And it was because the furling line was actually draped over the guardrail, and it was just a bit of a show actually. And considering I'm supposed to be sailing to Africa in 8 weeks, bit of a rude awakening, and needed to definitely get back on the bike and start practicing again. It's this metal thing, it's not like
Last season, we found our helms to be very heavy, and we suspect the rudder bearings are to blame. So the plan is to remove the rudder and get a good look at them. But like everything on a boat, it's easier said than done.
1, 2, 3.
Which way are we going?
Go on, Rob, put your back into it. What, me? No, I'm doing the very important job of supervising.
It is coming down. The last two brought it down about 3 or 4 mil.
Did it?
Yeah.
Right, I think back towards me again. It seems to be slacking on the nice side.
Yeah, that moved again.
Keep going right and right.
Right, you're on 7 inches.
Okay.
Try and not block
So day 2 of in the boatyard. So as we saw, we lifted out yesterday, and today we're just going to go for a bit of a visual inspection around the boat. Main works that we need to perform over the next few days are to polish the top sides, which we'll show you, and also to re-anti-foul the hull as well. So before we start, we're just looking at the general condition of things, which will help us understand exactly the extent to which we need to perform both of those activities.
Yes.
Looking forward to it?
Yes.
Awesome.
Let's go.
So considering that she hasn't been anti-fouled for the last 2 years, we are really impressed with the overall quality of the anti-foul. You can see that in places there are some scrapes back down through to the actual GRP. These are where the surveyor took the scrapes off before we bought the boat, so he could test the moisture content of the boat. So yeah, there's definitely those bits to do, but in between the anti-foul actually looks really nice, which means that we're not going to have to really do that much preparation to it before we re-anti-foul it for this year. You can see here up at the waterline, this is a bit darker, just where it gets more UV light and there's more growth and so on. So we'll probably have to give that one a bit more of a scrape back there. But all in all, I think a light sand of that hull will give it a nice key for the new anti-fouls to be applied straight over the top. I think the bits where it has been taken back to the actual kind of GRP, we will prime just those spots, and then that'll give us a nice adhesion for the anti-foul, hopefully. And then in terms of the actual top sides, the white bit and the blue bit, this bit gets a lot of UV light, so we've got to periodically polish it to bring back the kind of luster of the GRP, bring back that shine, and you can kind of see that the blue areas, the darker areas, are looking a little bit chalky. This is all UV damage, so that will need to be polished a lot harder than the white stuff above it, but we've got the stuff that we need for that. But all in all, again, the top sides are looking pretty cool, we think. Then we've got our stern gear here. We've got our propeller, which obviously drives us forward, spinning nice and freely. We've checked that, we kind of give it a good pull. There's a bearing in here called the cutlass bearing, where we need to test that periodically. That all looks fine, so we'll give this a good kind of clean back, and we'll probably put some polish on that as well. Got our anode to replace here as well. This is our sacrificial anode, so that the other parts of the metal within the engine and so on don't kind of electrolyze and kind of waste away. So this kind of wastes away in place of the good metal. So you can see that's been working quite nicely. It's been eroding away, which is exactly what you want. If it looks new when you come back to it, then you haven't got a proper electrical connection to it, and it's not actually doing anything, you know. So you've got to be wary of that. So we're going to need a new one of these, and so we'll replace that as well.
While Rob is giving Reach Out a good scrub and a good wash, I'll let you know that it is 200 years of the RNLI. Royalquaysmarina shared on their Facebook page that they would like, or the RNLI would like everyone to sound their horns or blow their whistles or just generally make some noise at 12 o'clock. That's about 3 minutes from now, so I've got our little air horn ready. I've warned the other people in the boatyard in case we scare them off ladders or anything. I don't know if we're going to be the only ones doing it, but we will find out. Hopefully there'll be a lot of noise in the marina as well.
To date, the RNLI have saved the lives of over 146,000 people. That's 2 people per day, every day, for 200 years. I'll leave you with the words of Bill Bryson. I had never really stopped to consider what an extraordinary thing the Royal National Lifeboat Institution is. Think about it. A troubled ship calls for help, and 8 people, teachers, plumbers, the guy who runs the pub, drop everything and put to sea, whatever the weather, asking no questions, imperiling their own lives to try to help strangers. Is there anything more brave and noble than that?